The crowd roared with laughter as the woman with trembling hands raised a duct-taped rifle to her shoulder. They didn't know they were mocking a ghost. They didn't know that Broken Weapon had already killed more enemies than all their pristine rifles combined. And they sure as hell didn't know that in 11 seconds, she would prove that some things broken, scarred, and barely held together shoot straighter than anything whole ever could. Before we begin, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Stay with me until the very end of this story. It gets better with every minute. And comment below with your city so I can see how far Rachel's story travels across the world. Now let's begin. Rachel Thompson's hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Thompson, get your ass over here." She flinched. Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez stood near the equipment shed, his ranger tab catching the light. She'd been hiding behind the crowd for 20 minutes, hoping he wouldn't notice her. No such luck. "Yes, Sergeant. We're short one rifle. Jenkins dropped his in a puddle. Go grab the spare." Her throat went dry. "The spare's broken. Firing pin. Then grab whatever we've got. I don't care if it's held together with prayers and duct tape. Move." She moved. The armory's back room smelled like gun oil and regret. Rachel's hands shook worse as she reached for the rifle in the corner, an M4 someone had marked trash in permanent marker. Duct tape held the stock together. The barrel had a visible warp. She picked it up. The weight settled into her hands, and for 3 seconds the shaking stopped. Then it came back twice as hard. She carried it outside. The Rangers saw it and erupted. "Holy shit, is that even a rifle? Thompson, you pull that from a dumpster. Looks like it survived an IED." Marcus snatched it from her hands, held it up like a trophy. "Check it out, boys. Thompson's personal weapon." Laughter rolled across the range. Rachel's nails dug into her palms. "Sergeant Rodriguez." Range Officer Williams approached. Weathered face, quiet authority. "What's going on?" "Just admiring Thompson's contribution, sir." Williams studied the rifle, then studied Rachel. Something shifted in his expression. "That weapon's not safe for use. It's all we've got, unless you want Jenkins to fail his qual." A pause. Williams's eyes narrowed. "Thompson, you know weapons regulations." She nodded. "Then you know that rifle needs testing before anyone uses it." He crossed his arms. "Load 1 magazine. Fire 1 group. If it holds 0, Jenkins can use it." The range went silent. "Sir, I'm not—" "It's in your job description. 5 rounds. Can you do that?" Her hands shook so badly she nearly dropped the rifle. Behind Marcus, some Instagram girl pulled out her phone. Already recording. "This is gonna be gold," the girl whispered. "Shaky maintenance girl tries to shoot." Rachel's vision tunneled. Someone handed her a magazine. 5 rounds. She seated it with a click that echoed in her skull like a gunshot from another life. "Take your time," Williams said. "No pressure." He was lying. She walked to the firing line on legs made of water. 50 meters. Standard silhouette target. Wind from the left maybe 5 miles per hour. 92 degrees. High humidity. Her body remembered all of it. She dropped prone. The trembling stopped. Her breathing shifted 4 seconds in hold, 6 out. Left hand checked the magazine. Right thumb tested the selector. Cheek found the stock weld, and despite the crack, despite the tape, it felt right. Like coming home to a burned house. "Jesus," someone muttered. "She looks like she's done this before." Williams moved closer. Alert now. Watching. Rachel looked through the optic scratched, fogged, cracked. She ignored it entirely. Used the iron sights instead. Noted the wind. The heat shimmer. The cant in the barrel that would pull her shots right and low. She exhaled halfway. Stopped between heartbeats. The first shot broke clean. The rifle barked. 50 meters out, a hole appeared 4 inches right of center, exactly where the barrel warp would put it. Rachel adjusted left 4 inches up 1. Exhaled. Second shot punched through 1 inch from the first. The range was dead silent. She fired again. 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 5 shots, 7 seconds. Every round compensating for the warp, the bad optic, the broken stock. Compensating by instinct carved into muscle by thousands of hours and dozens of kills she tried not to count anymore. When she stood, her hands were shaking again. But downrange, the target told a different story. Williams walked to the spotting scope. "I'll be damned!" Marcus yanked the target down, stormed back. His face was red. "Bullshit. Nobody shoots like that with a trash rifle." He thrust it at Williams. 5 holes, tight cluster, all vital zone. Expert marksman with a perfect weapon. Impossible with this one, unless you knew exactly how impossible weapons behaved. "Thompson." Williams's voice had changed. "Where'd you learn to shoot?" She couldn't answer. Her throat had closed. "I asked you a question." "I'm not a soldier, sir." "The hell you're not." He moved closer. "That wasn't basic marksmanship. That was combat shooting. You didn't use the optic. You calculated barrel deviation on the fly." His voice dropped. "What unit?" Her hands tightened on the rifle. "I need to get back to work." "Answer the question." "She got lucky." Marcus stepped between them. "Beginner's luck. Happens all the time. 5 consecutive bullseyes with a warped barrel isn't luck." A new voice, rough Texas drawl. Staff Sergeant Harrison pushed to the front. He was staring at Rachel like she was a machine that shouldn't work, but did. "That shooting stance. I've seen it exactly once before." Rachel's blood turned to ice water. "Where?" Williams asked. Harrison didn't blink. "Syria, 2019. Overwatch for a Ranger patrol. They walked into an ambush. 15 insurgents, elevated positions, perfect kill zone." He paused. "Then someone started shooting from 400 meters north. 11 shots. 11 kills. Through windows. Around corners. Through concealment. Dropped half the enemy in 30 seconds. Nobody breathed. We never saw the shooter, but command said later it was Ghost Squadron, Tier 1 operators who don't officially exist." He took a step toward Rachel. "That stance, that breathing, that's Ghost Squadron technique. They train with broken weapons on purpose." Rachel couldn't breathe. The rifle shook in her hands. "You're crazy," Marcus said. "Thompson's maintenance. Been here 3 years. We'd know if she was some secret operator." "Would we?" Williams pulled out his phone, typed fast. "Thompson, service number." "I need to leave." "That wasn't a request. Service number, now." The numbers came out before she could stop them. 10 years of conditioning. Williams typed. Waited. His face changed. "Holy shit." "What?" Harrison looked at the screen. "Her file's restricted. Can't access training history. Just says classified contact G2 for clearance." He looked up. "Thompson, who are you?" "Nobody." The word broke in half. "I'm nobody." "Bullshit." Marcus grabbed the rifle from her. "You want to prove you're some badass? Fine. Rapid fire drill. Right now. You and me. 25 rounds, multiple positions, 60 seconds. Let's see how lucky you get with real pressure." "Marcus, stand down," Williams ordered. "No, sir. I'm tired of this. Thompson walks around playing weak and broken, now suddenly she's a secret sniper. Prove it." He shoved a magazine at her. "Prove you're not just some clerk who got lucky." Rachel looked at the magazine. At Marcus's face. At the crowd of Rangers who'd watched her tremble for 3 years. At the phone still recording. already streaming to thousands. At the rifle broken, taped, impossible. Something gave way in her chest. "Okay," she whispered. Williams started to protest. Harrison stopped him. "Let her shoot." Marcus took position beside her. Pristine M4. Perfect optic. Straight barrel. Confident smile. He had no idea. Williams raised his hand. 3, 2, 1. Execute. Rachel moved. Prone 5 shots, center mass, 4 seconds. The rifle barking angry. Each shot hitting despite everything. Roll to kneeling magazine, out new mag in bolt release 3 seconds, while her body remembered 100 firefights. 5 more shots, headbox compensating by feel. Standing transition. This is where shooters lost time, lost accuracy. Rachel didn't. 5 shots standing, her body swaying to account for movement wind, the twist in the broken stock. She wasn't just shooting. She was flowing. The rifle was part of her. The trembling wasn't weakness. It was a sensor reading the world, adjusting for variables she couldn't name. Magazine change faster, now hands blurring. Back to prone moving, while she shot rolling to new positions between rounds, the way you did when they shot back. 5 shots scattered across multiple targets. Each one center mass. Final magazine. Standing. 5 shots in 3 seconds. So fast the reports almost blurred. Stillness. She lowered the rifle. Stepped back. Her hands shook worse than ever. Downrange the targets told the story. 25 rounds, 25 hits, all vital. 48 seconds. Marcus was still shooting. Good form. Textbook. Solid accuracy. But slow. Careful. Mechanical. He finished at 59 seconds. 2 misses. Several outside vitals. He stared at his target. Then hers. Then her. How? She didn't answer. Couldn't. Because answering meant remembering. Remembering meant feeling. She'd spent 3 years trying not to feel. Williams examined her targets. Harrison joined him. Low voices that carried anyway. "This isn't possible." "It happened. That rifle should jam every 3rd round." "But it's not. She's compensating. Instinctively." Harrison touched a bullet hole. "You don't learn this in Ranger School. This is operator level. The kind where you drop targets in 0 visibility with unfamiliar weapons because that's all you've got. So what do we do? Find out who she is. Before this goes viral." Too late. The video was already spreading. 2,000 shares in the time it took Rachel to walk away. By evening, 50,000. By morning, someone who recognized her face. Someone who remembered Ghost Squadron. Someone who knew why 6 operators went into Yemen and only 1 came back. Rachel walked. Past Marcus's shock. Past the murmuring Rangers. Past Williams and Harrison with their questions. Back to the motor pool. Back to the broken Humvees and grease and quiet. Back to where she could pretend to be small and invisible. Where she could pretend the rifle hadn't felt like home. She made it to the bathroom before the tears came. Hard and silent. Ghost Squadron training, no noise, no gasping, nothing that gave away position. Just water streaming down her face while her body shook and her mind replayed 25 rounds of perfect muscle memory she'd tried so hard to forget. Her phone buzzed. Again. Continuously. Messages from strangers. Video links. Comments. Shares. Who is this woman? Former military for sure. That shooting is unreal. PTSD maybe. Look at her hands. Why is she working maintenance if she can shoot like that? Rachel turned it off. Put her head against cool tile. Breathed in combat patterns, 4 in hold, 7, 8 out. It didn't help anymore. Nothing helped. She pulled herself together. Returned to work. Sunset coming. Motor pool quiet, everyone at chow. Just her and broken machines and tools that couldn't judge her. Elbow deep in a Humvee engine when footsteps approached. Go away. Can't do that. Williams. We need to talk. I did your test. Rifle works. That's not what this is about. She pulled herself out, wiping grease. Williams and Harrison in the doorway. Both serious. I don't want to talk. Tough. Harrison moved closer. In 6 hours, Colonel Patterson sees that video. He'll have questions we can't answer. Questions that bring attention you clearly don't want. So don't show him. It's got 200,000 views. Someone's going to recognize you. Her hands started shaking. She shoved them in her pockets. I'm nobody. Keep saying it. Maybe you'll believe it. Williams crossed his arms. I've done this job 28 years. I know combat shooting. I know operator behavior. And I know when someone's running. He paused. What happened? The question hung like smoke. Rachel looked at these two good men trying to help the only way they knew. She wanted to tell them. Explain why she couldn't be that person anymore. Why the broken rifle felt like holding pieces of dead friends. Why perfect shots reminded her of all the shots she'd missed when it mattered. But telling meant remembering. Remembering meant breaking. She'd worked so hard to hold the pieces together. Nothing happened. I learned to shoot in basic. Got lucky today. That's all. You're lying. Prove it. Harrison and Williams exchanged looks. Silent communication. Then Harrison stepped forward. 6 years ago, Ghost Squadron ran operations in Yemen. Tier 1 stuff too sensitive for records. They were tracking a high-value target coordinating attacks across 3 countries. He watched her face. The whole team was wiped out. 6 operators. Mission classified as a training accident. Rachel's hands clenched. Rumors said 1 survived. Got her team out after taking multiple hits. So damaged they medically retired her under sealed records. Harrison's voice went gentle. Story was she disappeared. Changed her name, maybe. Took a job somewhere quiet where nobody asked questions. Good story. Not mine. Your service number says different. So does that shooting. So does the way you're shaking right now. Williams moved closer. You don't have to tell us, but that video's being analyzed by people who know what to look for. 48 hours someone connects you to Ghost Squadron. When that happens, you won't choose how this goes. The walls closed in. Too small, too bright. Too many eyes and questions and memories she couldn't outrun. I need to work. You need to talk to someone before this explodes. Harrison pulled out cards. Base chaplain and a trauma counselor cleared for classified debriefs. Call 1. Tonight. Rachel didn't take them. I'm fine. You're not fine. Then stop looking. Sharper than intended. I do my job. Don't cause problems. Keep my head down. That's all you should care about. We care because you're one of ours, Williams said. Even if you won't admit it. The words hit like fists. Something cracked behind her ribs, not breaking open, but breaking through. Pressure building for years, finding a weak point. I'm not one of yours. Quiet now. I'm not one of anyone's anymore. She turned to the Humvee. Dismissed them with her back. After a long moment, footsteps echoed away. Alone again. Just her and broken machines. She worked until midnight, until her hands were too tired to shake. until the ghosts got quiet enough to think. Then she locked up, walked to her barracks, a single room, because she couldn't handle roommates, and sat on her bunk staring at her phone. The video had 1 million views. Comments getting worse. Someone ID her. Military Twitter work your magic. That's not normal shooting. Then buried in replies, the comment that froze her blood. That's Ghost Squadron technique. I'd recognize it anywhere. Someone pull her service record. Rachel's hands shook so hard she almost dropped the phone. She powered it off, shoved it in a drawer, lay down staring at ceiling shadows that looked like helicopters and fire and faces of people who'd trusted her to bring them home. She didn't sleep. By morning, everyone would know. By morning, the mockery would turn to pity or awe, or that reverence that made her feel like a fraud because she didn't earn survival. Better soldiers died. By morning, Rachel Thompson would stop being invisible. The ghost she'd been running from for 3 years would finally catch up. But right now in the dark, she could still pretend. Pretend the rifle hadn't whispered her real name. Pretend 25 perfect shots hadn't torn open wounds she'd duct-taped shut. Pretend tomorrow wouldn't come. Her phone buzzed in the drawer. Once. Twice. 10 times. The world had found her, and it wanted answers she'd buried with 6 bodies in the Yemen desert. Rachel pulled the blanket over her head like a child hiding from monsters. But the monsters were already inside. They'd been inside for 3 years, and now everyone was going to see them. Morning came, whether Rachel wanted it or not. She was already in the motor pool by 0500 hands, buried in an engine block when she heard the boots approaching. Multiple pairs. Fast. Thompson. She didn't look up. Busy. Now's not the time to play deaf. Colonel Patterson's voice. She straightened fast, wiping grease coming to attention on instinct she couldn't kill. Patterson stood flanked by 2 MPs and a woman in civilian clothes carrying a tablet. Behind them, Williams and Harrison. The range officer looked like he hadn't slept either. At ease. Patterson studied her face. You know why I'm here? No, sir. Don't insult my intelligence. That video's got 3 million views. Pentagon's been calling since 0400. They want to know who you are and why you're shooting like a Tier 1 operator while working maintenance on my base. Rachel's hands found each other, started twisting. I did a function test like Range Officer Williams requested. That's all. That's all. The woman with the tablet stepped forward. Sharp eyes, government haircut. Master Sergeant Rachel Thompson, Ghost Squadron, Operation Blackout Yemen 2021. Only survivor of a 6-person team ambushed during a classified target interdiction. 3 Purple Hearts, 2 Bronze Stars. Medal of Honor recommended but classified above top secret. She lowered the tablet. Ring any bells? The motor pool tilted sideways. I'm Captain Sarah Kim Jag Kaur. I've been trying to find you for 2 years. Kim moved closer. You disappeared after medical discharge. Changed your name well reverted to your maiden name. Took a job so far below your skill level that nobody would look twice. Smart. Well, she paused. Until yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about. Your service number's flagged in 7 different databases. The moment Williams ran it, alarms went off from here to Fort Meade. Kim pulled up something on her tablet. You want to keep pretending, or you want to tell me why a Medal of Honor recipient is hiding in a motor pool? Rachel's breathing went shallow. I'm not hiding. You're not living either. Patterson's voice was gentler now. Thompson? Or should I call you Ghost? So 1. You've got a lot of people asking questions. Important people. The kind who don't like mysteries. Then tell them to stop asking. Can't do that, not after that video. He gestured to Kim. Show her. Kim turned the tablet around. Video compilation. Rachel's shooting from a dozen angles. Slow motion. Analysis overlays. Comments scrolling past like artillery fire. Former Delta identified your technique. SEAL instructor confirmed Ghost Squadron methodology. Someone pulled partial records, says she saved an entire Ranger company. Why is she working maintenance? What happened to the rest of her team? Rachel's hands shook harder. Turn it off. It's got 5 million views now, Kim said. By tonight 10, maybe 20. Every veteran with a phone is trying to ID you. Every military blogger is digging into Ghost Squadron. You've got maybe 6 hours before someone leaks your real name and full story. She closed the tablet. So here's what's happening. You're going to come with me. We're going to debrief properly. Then we're going to figure out how to manage this before it destroys you. I'm not going anywhere. That wasn't a request. I said no. Rachel's voice cracked. I'm nobody. I fix engines. That's all I do. That's all I'm good for anymore. Bullshit. Harrison spoke for the first time. I've been asking around. You know what I found 3 years ago? This motor pool was running at 60% efficiency. Vehicles breaking down constantly, parts going missing, total disaster. He crossed his arms. Then you showed up. Now we're at 98%. You've saved this base hundreds of thousands in maintenance costs. You work 16-hour days. You volunteer for every shit detail. You're the first one here and the last to leave. So you're not hiding. You're punishing yourself. His voice dropped. For surviving when they didn't. The words hit like rounds to the chest. Rachel stumbled back against the Humvee. Staff Sergeant Harrison, Patterson warned. No, sir, she needs to hear this. I've seen it before. Survivor guilt. PTSD. The kind that makes good soldiers disappear because they can't face being alive. Harrison moved closer. Thompson, whatever happened in Yemen, it wasn't your fault. You don't know what happened. Then tell us. I can't. Can't or won't. Both. The word came out too loud. Rachel's hands were shaking so bad she had to clench them into fists. You want to know what happened? Fine. 6 of us went in. 1 came out. I watched my team die because I made the wrong call. Because I was team leader and I fucked up and they trusted me and now they're dead. Her voice broke. So yeah, I'm punishing myself. Because I deserve it. Because every breath I take is one they don't get. Because I was supposed to bring them home, and instead She couldn't finish. The words choked off. 3 years of holding it together cracked open right there in the motor pool, while 5 people watched. Kim's voice was quiet. What was the wrong call? Rachel's laugh came out bitter. Does it matter? Yes. We had intelligence on a target, high value, the kind that could save American lives, but the intel was thin, 50-50 chance it was solid. She stared at her shaking hands. I called it. Said we go. My team trusted me, followed me into that compound, and it was a trap. They knew we were coming. They were waiting. How'd you get out? I didn't. Not really. Rachel pulled her collar down. Even through her shirt, the scar tissue was visible, thick, ropey, covering her shoulder and neck. Took shrapnel from an RPG, kept shooting anyway. Got my team to the extraction point, or what was left of them. Her voice went hollow. By the time the helo arrived, I was the only one still breathing. The motor pool was dead silent. You carried them all out, Kim said. It wasn't a question. What was left to carry? Under fire, with those injuries, for 3 kilometers. Rachel's jaw clenched. Doesn't matter. They were already dead. I was too slow, too late, too human, Patterson's voice cut through. Thompson, you made a tactical decision with the information available. That's leadership. Sometimes the intel's bad. Sometimes the enemy's smarter. Sometimes good people die doing the right thing. He paused. That doesn't make it your fault. Feels like my fault. I know. It always does. He glanced at Kim. But hiding in a motor pool for 3 years isn't honoring their memory. It's wasting the life they died protecting. Rachel's hands stopped shaking, went completely still. Don't you dare. Don't you dare use them to— I'm not using anyone. I'm stating facts. Patterson's voice stayed level. You survived for a reason. Maybe to keep being a soldier. Maybe to find a new mission. But definitely not to spend the rest of your life fixing trucks and pretending you're not one of the most lethal operators the Army ever produced. I'm not an operator anymore. Your shooting yesterday says different. That was muscle memory. Doesn't mean anything. It means everything. Kim stepped forward. Thompson, we've been investigating Ghost Squadron, specifically what happened in Yemen, and we found something. She pulled up her tablet again. 2 soldiers from the Ranger Company you saved 4 years ago, the Syria operation Harrison mentioned, Chen and Brooks. Both were in theater when Ghost Squadron deployed to Yemen. Rachel's blood went cold. So they were reassigned 3 weeks before your op. Administrative transfer. Paperwork looked clean. Kim's eyes were hard now. Except it wasn't clean. We traced their communications. They were in contact with a foreign intelligence asset. They sold information about U.S. operations, including Ghost Squadron's mission profile. The motor pool spun. I'm saying your team didn't walk into a random ambush. You were betrayed by American soldiers you'd saved 3 years earlier. Kim's voice was steel. Chen and Brooks sold your location, your mission timeline, your squad composition. They got paid $40,000. Your team got killed. Rachel couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The shaking came back so hard her teeth rattled. Where are they? The words came out flat. Dead. Where are Chen and Brooks? Stateside, Fort Benning actually. Transferred here 8 months ago. They're here, yes, and they don't know we're onto them. We've been building the case quietly, waiting for enough evidence. Kim paused. Then your video went viral. Chen saw it, recognized you, made a panicked call to his handler. We intercepted it an hour ago. What did he say? That Ghost 01 was alive and he needed to disappear, fast. Kim's expression was grim. We arrested them 20 minutes ago. They're in custody. Espionage, treason. They're looking at life in Leavenworth, maybe execution. Rachel's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the concrete. Her mind was white noise. 3 years of thinking it was her fault. 3 years of guilt so heavy she could barely stand. 3 years of punishing herself for a decision that wasn't the problem. The problem was betrayal. The problem was 2 soldiers who valued money over lives. The problem was that her team died because of greed, not her leadership. Her voice didn't work right. I need a minute. Take 5. Patterson nodded to the MPs. They stepped outside. Williams and Harrison followed, leaving just Kim and Patterson. Rachel put her head between her knees. Breathed. 4 in. Hold. 8 out. Combat breathing that didn't help because this wasn't combat. This was worse. This was learning that everything she'd believed for 3 years was a lie. Why didn't anyone tell me? She finally asked. We didn't know, Patterson said. The investigation only got serious 6 months ago when discrepancies showed up in Syria operation reports. Before that, everyone assumed Yemen was just bad luck, bad intel, wrong place, wrong time. But it wasn't. No, it was murder. Kim crouched beside her. Thompson, what happened to your team wasn't your fault. It was never your fault. You made the right call with the information you had. The intel looked solid because it was designed to look solid. You walked into a trap because someone sold you out. Rachel's hands found her face, pressed hard. I carried their bodies for 3 kilometers thinking I'd killed them, thinking if I'd just waited one more day, verified one more source, made one more check. They'd still be dead, Kim said bluntly, because Chen and Brooks would have sold you out no matter what. Different day, same result. The only difference is you survived. And that's not your fault either. That's you being one hell of a soldier. I don't feel like a soldier. You shot expert marksman with a broken rifle while having a panic attack. I'd say you're still a soldier. Despite everything, Rachel's mouth twitched. Not quite a smile. Not quite anything. That rifle shouldn't have worked. But you made it work, because that's what operators do. Kim stood. Now here's what happens next. You're going to finish that qualification today. You're going to show everyone watching that video that broken things can still be dangerous. Then you're going to let Jag handle Chen and Brooks while you figure out what comes next. What if I don't want to shoot again? Then don't. But make that choice for the right reasons. Not because you think you failed. Not because you're punishing yourself, but because it's actually what you want. She offered a hand. Deal. Rachel looked at the hand, at Kim's face, at Patterson watching quietly. She thought about her team, about carrying them through the desert, about 3 years of silence and grease and engines that couldn't talk back or judge or ask questions she couldn't answer. She thought about 25 perfect shots yesterday, about how the rifle had felt right even when everything else felt wrong, about muscle memory that wouldn't die even when she wanted it to. She took Kim's hand, let herself be pulled up. I'll shoot, she said quietly, but not for you, not for the army, for them, for Ghost Squadron. That's all we're asking. Patterson opened the door. Range is set up. Full qualification course. You don't have to break any records. Just show the internet you're still standing. Rachel wiped her face, straightened her coveralls. The broken rifle, still here, still garbage. He smiled slightly. Thought you might want it. She did. God help her, she did. They walked to the range together. Dawn was breaking now, turning the sky pink and gold. The air was cool. Quiet. In 3 hours, the base would wake up, and the crowds would come, and the phones would start recording again. But right now it was just her and the rifle and the ghosts. The range was empty except for William setting up targets. He saw her coming and nodded once. Thompson. Williams. Heard about Chen and Brooks. Heard what they did. He handed her the rifle. I'm sorry. Not your fault. Still sorry. Nobody should carry what you've been carrying, especially not alone. He checked the targets. You ready? Rachel chambered around, felt the bolt seat home. No. Good. The ready ones are dangerous. He stepped back. 50 targets, multiple distances, prone, kneeling, standing, moving. Standard qual plus some extras. Take your time. How long do I have? As long as you need. She moved to the line, dropped prone, looked downrange at targets scattered from 25 meters to 300. Targets that would test everything. Precision, speed, compensation, control. Everything she'd spent 3 years trying to forget. She breathed in, held, exhaled halfway. The rifle settled into her shoulder like it belonged there, like it had been waiting 3 years for her to come home. She fired. The first target dropped at 25 meters. Clean hit. Second target. 50 meters. Wind compensation. Down. Third. 75. Moving target. Tracked it. Led it. Fired. Down. She moved through the course like water. Like fire, like something that had been broken and duct-taped back together but still remembered how to kill. Each shot was perfect, each movement economical, each transition smooth. Her hands shook between shots, steadied during, shook again after. But the targets kept falling. Williams watched through binoculars. Patterson and Kim stood behind him. Harrison had shown up somewhere around shot 20. By shot 30, a crowd had gathered. Rangers, support staff, people who'd seen yesterday's video and wanted to see if it was real. They watched her drop 40 targets in 8 minutes. Watched her compensate for barrel warp on instinct. Watched her move between positions like she'd done it 10,000 times. Because she had. 45 targets down. 5 to go. Williams keyed his radio. "Releasing aerial targets." Rachel's head snapped up. "What? Final test, drones, remote-controlled. Bonus round, technically. You don't have to—" She was already tracking them. 3 drones lifted off from behind the berm, small and fast, following erratic patterns designed to simulate birds or enemy surveillance. Real operators trained against aerial targets, because sometimes the threat came from above. Rachel tracked the first drone. Led it. Squeezed. The rifle barked. The drone exploded mid-air. The crowd gasped. Second drone. Harder angle. Moving faster. She adjusted. Fired. Down. Third drone. Distance now maybe 200 meters. Wind pushing it. She calculated angles she couldn't name. Compensated for things she felt more than thought. Fired. 3 seconds of flight time. The drone disintegrated. The crowd erupted, cheering, shouting, phones recording from every angle. Rachel lowered the rifle. Her hands were shaking so bad she could barely hold it. Williams walked over slowly. "Thompson, you just shot down 3 aerial targets with a warped rifle. In 11 seconds. 12. 11. I was timing." He took the rifle carefully. "That's impossible." "So I've been told." "How?" She looked at her hands, still shaking. Always shaking. "Practice. Lots of practice. And really good teachers who are all dead now." The words hit the crowd like cold water. Silence spread. Patterson stepped forward. "Thompson, you just qualified expert marksman, again, with a rifle that shouldn't function, in front of 500 witnesses and 2 million streaming viewers." 2 million. Kim held up her tablet. "Videos streaming live. Military channels picked it up. You're trending on Twitter. Someone just identified you as Ghost01. Your real name's going to break in the next hour. Maybe less." Rachel's chest tightened. "Can you stop it?" "No, too late. But we can control the narrative." Kim's voice was firm. "Here's what I recommend. You give a statement. Short. Simple. Confirm your identity. Acknowledge your service. Thank your team. Then you walk away and let JAG and public affairs handle the rest." "I can't. I'm not good at talking. You don't have to be good. You just have to be honest." Patterson moved beside her. "These people want to know who you are. Give them the truth. Then you get to decide what comes next. Stay in service. Retire properly this time. Take time. Whatever you need. But do it as yourself, not as someone hiding in a motor pool." Rachel looked at the crowd, at faces watching her with awe and respect and curiosity, at phones recording, at the broken rifle in Williams's hands, at the sunrise turning everything gold. She thought about Ghost Squadron, about 6 operators who'd trusted her, who'd followed her into hell, who'd died because 2 soldiers valued money over honor. She thought about 3 years of silence. Maybe it was time to speak. "Okay," she whispered. "I'll do it." Kim pulled out professional recording equipment. Set it up fast. When you're ready, take your time. Rachel faced the camera. Faced the world. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking, but she didn't hide them anymore. My name is Rachel Thompson, call sign Ghost01. I served with Ghost Squadron, a classified special operations unit. 6 years ago, my team and I deployed to Yemen. We were betrayed by 2 American soldiers who sold our location for money. My team died. I survived. For 3 years I've been hiding because I thought their deaths were my fault. She paused, swallowed hard. I was wrong. They died because of betrayal, not my leadership. And I'm done hiding. The crowd was dead silent. I'm not a hero. I'm just someone who survived when better people didn't. But I'm going to honor their memory by living instead of just existing. By being the soldier they trained me to be. By making sure their sacrifice meant something. Her voice cracked. This is for Ghost Squadron, for Chen Martinez Davis, Johnson Wilson, and Ghost 06, whose real name I still can't say because it's classified. You deserved better. You deserved to come home. And I'm sorry I couldn't bring you back alive. Tears ran down her face. She didn't wipe them. But I can promise you this. The soldiers who sold you out are going to prison. Justice is coming. And I'm going to keep fighting. Because that's what you trained me to do. That's what you'd want. She looked directly at the camera. Nunquam oblitus, never forgotten. Ghost Squadron forever. She stepped away from the camera. The crowd stood frozen for 3 heartbeats. Then someone started clapping. Slow at first. Then faster. Then everyone joined in. 500 people applauding a woman who'd been invisible for 3 years, who'd just torn open her chest and showed her scars to the world. Rachel stood there shaking, crying, barely holding together. Kim turned off the camera. That was perfect. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. Harder than Yemen? Yes, because this time I chose it. Patterson offered his hand. Welcome back, Master Sergeant. She shook it. His grip was firm. Real. I'm not sure I'm back yet. You will be. Takes time. But you're already standing. That's the hardest part. Marcus Rodriguez pushed through the crowd. His face was pale. Thompson, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Yesterday I was a complete asshole, and Stop. Rachel held up a hand. You didn't know because I didn't want you to know. Not your fault. I challenged you to prove yourself when you'd already proven yourself 100 times over. You challenged me because I looked weak, and I did look weak, because I was weak. She met his eyes. But being weak isn't the same as being broken. Broken things can still work. They just work different. Marcus looked at the rifle Williams was holding. That rifle shouldn't work at all. Neither should I. But here we are. And she almost smiled. Besides, you're not the worst bully I've dealt with. Not even top 10. Despite everything, he laughed. Jesus, Thompson, you're terrifying. Good. Maybe you'll think twice before mocking the next person who looks broken. Yeah. Lesson learned. The crowd was dispersing now. Phones still recording, but the energy shifting. People moving back to duty. The show was over. Life went on. Rachel walked to the motor pool. Kim followed. What now? Rachel asked. Now you rest. Take a few days. Let this settle. Let Jag handle Chen and Brooks. Let public affairs manage media. Kim handed her a card. But when you're ready, call me. We need to talk about what comes next. Real options. Not just hiding. Rachel took the card, stared at it. What if I'm not ready? Then wait until you are. But Thompson, you just gave a speech to 2 million people while crying and shaking and barely holding together. You're stronger than you think. Doesn't feel like it. It never does. That's how you know it's real. Kim left. Rachel stood alone in the motor pool. The morning was bright now. Warm. Normal. Engines needed fixing. Work needed doing. Life needed living. She picked up a wrench, put it down, picked it up again. Her hands were still shaking. Would probably always shake. But maybe that was okay. Maybe shaking meant you survived something worth shaking about. Maybe broken things didn't need to be fixed. Just understood. Accepted. Used different. She opened the Humvee hood, got to work. And for the first time in 3 years, the ghosts were quiet. Not gone. Never gone. But quiet enough to let her breathe. The quiet lasted exactly 47 minutes. Rachel had just torqued down a cylinder head when boots hammered across the concrete. Multiple pairs. Running. Thompson. She turned. MPs, 6 of them. Full gear. Their expressions were hard. Her stomach dropped. What's wrong? Chen escaped custody. The wrench fell from her hands. Clattered on concrete. What? 30 minutes ago, during transport to the stockade. Vehicle ambush. 3 MPs injured. Chen's gone. The lead MP, Sergeant Davis, was breathing hard. Brooks is secure, but Chen had help. Professional help. We think he's coming for me. Not a question. Rachel's hands went still. Combat calm settling over her like ice water. He knows I'm the one who can testify about Yemen, about what he sold. Without me, it's just circumstantial. We're moving you to protective custody. No. That wasn't a request. I'm not hiding. Rachel picked up the wrench, set it down carefully. Her mind was already working. Calculating. Where was the ambush? North Gate, 2 miles from here. How many hostiles? Unknown. At least 4. Armed. Coordinated. They knew the transport route and timing. Davis moved closer. Thompson, these aren't amateurs. Chen's handler sent a professional team. You're the target. We need to secure you now. Or we use me as bait. Absolutely not. Listen to me. Rachel's voice was steady now. Cold. The voice that had led operators through hell. Chen's panicked, desperate. He'll make mistakes, but only if he thinks he has a chance. You lock me down, he disappears, runs. You'll never find him. But if I'm visible, vulnerable, he'll come. And get you killed. Maybe. Or maybe I'm harder to kill than he remembers. She met Davis's eyes. I survived Yemen. I can survive one traitor. Colonel Patterson will never approve this. Then don't tell him until it's done. Rachel pulled off her coveralls. Underneath was a simple t-shirt and cargo pants. Combat ready without trying. 3 years of habit. Where's Williams and Harrison? Range office. Why? Because I need weapons, real ones, and people who know how to use them. She started walking. Davis grabbed her arm. Thompson, this is insane. No. Insane was hiding for 3 years. This is just tactical. She pulled free. Chen sold my team. Got them killed for $40,000. You think I'm going to run from him? Not happening. Not ever. She walked. The MPs followed. Had to. Orders or not, you didn't let an asset walk into danger alone. Williams and Harrison were reviewing range scores when Rachel burst in. Both men looked up, saw her face, stood immediately. What happened? Harrison asked. Chen escaped. He's coming for me. I need weapons, standard loadout, body armor if you've got it, and I need shooters, people who won't flinch when it goes hot. Williams didn't hesitate. Armory, now. He grabbed keys. Harrison, get Rodriguez and his fire team. Tell them gear up for hostile contact urban environment. On it. Harrison was already moving. Thompson. Williams turned as they walked. You sure about this? No, but I'm doing it anyway. Good enough. The armory smelled like gun oil and possibilities. Williams worked fast. M4 carbine, not the broken trainer, but a real weapon zeroed and maintained. 4 magazines. Plate carrier with ceramic plates. Sidearm SIG P320. Flashbang. Smoke grenade. Radio headset. Rachel geared up like she'd never stopped. Muscle memory flowing. Plate carrier settled on her shoulders with familiar weight. Magazines seated in pouches. Sidearm holstered on her thigh. Radio clipped and tested. How's it feel? Williams asked. Like coming home. She charged her rifle, checked the optic. Clear glass, straight barrel. Perfect weapon for an imperfect situation. Where's the best position to make a stand? Depends. Where do you think Chen will hit? Motor pool. He knows that's where I work, where I'm comfortable, where I'll be alone. Rachel's mind was clicking through options. He'll wait until dark. Come in quiet. Try to make it look like an accident or suicide. Clean and simple. So we set up there. Overlapping fields of fire. Night vision, motion sensors. No. Rachel shook her head. We make it look vulnerable. One light, one exit. Me working late like always. He comes in thinking I'm alone. Then you collapse on him from outside. You're the bait. I'm always the bait. That's what Ghost Squadron did. 1 operator exposed, 5 hidden. Let the enemy commit. Then kill them all. Her voice was flat, professional. The voice of someone who'd done this before. Except this time I'm both. The bait and the trap. Marcus Rodriguez appeared with 4 Rangers. All geared up, all looking serious. Heard you need shooters, Marcus said. We're in. You don't have to do this. Yeah, we do. You saved Rangers in Syria. You saved God knows how many others in places we'll never hear about. And we mocked you, laughed at you, called you weak. His jaw clenched. Time to make that right. Rachel looked at these 5 soldiers. Good men. Young. Some probably hadn't seen real combat. If Chen's team is professional, this could get ugly fast. People could die. Then we better shoot straight. Marcus checked his rifle. What's the plan? Rachel pulled out her phone, opened a notes app, drew a quick diagram of the motor pool. Building's got 3 entrances. Main door here, side door, rear loading bay. He'll probably use the rear darkest most concealment. I'll be at the main workbench. Visible from the rear entrance, but not directly facing it. Natural position for working late. She tapped the screen. Williams, you're here. Northwest corner. Elevated position on the supply racks. You'll have angle on the rear entrance. Harrison southwest. Same elevation opposite side. Crossfire if he enters through rear. What about us? Marcus asked. You're outside. 2 positions. 1 covering the side door. 1 mobile to block escape routes. If Chen's team is smart, they'll have Overwatch somewhere. Probably a vehicle staged for quick exit. You find it. Disable it. Cut their exfil. And if they spot us first, they won't, because you're Rangers, and this is what you train for. Rachel met his eyes. But if they do, you engage. Hard. Fast. No mercy. Because these people helped kill Ghost Squadron. They don't get second chances. Marcus nodded slowly. Rules of engagement. Anyone who enters that motor pool armed and hostile is enemy combatant. Neutralize with extreme prejudice. She paused. But Chen is mine. He goes down last. I need answers first. What kind of answers? Who else was involved? How deep the betrayal goes, if there are more operators at risk. Her hands clenched on her rifle. And I need him to know it was me, that Ghost 01 didn't die in Yemen, that he failed. Williams pulled out a radio. I'll coordinate with base security, get them to pull back from the motor pool, make it look abandoned. Chen's probably monitoring security frequencies. He'll see the gap and think it's his opening. How long until dark? 4 hours. Then we've got 4 hours to get this right, because we only get one chance. Rachel checked her watch. And if Chen's handler is smart, they're already moving. Clock's ticking. The next 4 hours were preparation. Drills, position checks, comm tests, rehearsing angles and fire lanes, making sure everyone knew their sectors, their triggers, their fallback positions if things went sideways. Rachel moved through it like she'd never left, correcting positions, adjusting fields of fire, testing sight lines. Her hand still shook between tasks, but steadied when she touched her rifle. Like the weapon gave her purpose. Focus. Permission to be what she'd been trained to be. By 1800 hours, everyone was in position. Motor pool lights were off, except one workbench lamp. Rachel sat there in coveralls, tools spread out, working on an engine block like she did every night. Routine. Normal. Vulnerable. But under the coveralls was body armor. In her toolbox was her sidearm. Her rifle was propped against the workbench, hidden by her body angle. And in her ear was the radio connecting her to 5 shooters covering every angle. "Comms check," Williams whispered. "Alpha, set," Harrison replied. "Bravo, set." Marcus from outside. "Ghost." Rachel keyed her mic twice. Acknowledgement without speaking. Old habits. "All stations, we're green. Maintain silence unless hostile contact." Williams's voice was calm, professional. "Thompson, you good?" 2 more clicks. "Copy. Stand by." Rachel went back to working, removed a bolt, set it aside. Her hands were shaking again, but she let them. Let herself look vulnerable. Tired. Alone. Everything Chen would expect. The minutes crawled past. 1900 hours. 2000. 2100. Nothing. Rachel's back was starting to ache from the position. The armor was heavy. The tension was wearing on her, making her doubt. Maybe Chen wasn't coming. Maybe he'd run instead. Maybe. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. "Working late, Ghost, so 1." Her blood turned to ice. She keyed her mic once. Alert signal. Then typed back slowly. "Who is this?" "Someone who made a mistake 3 years ago. Someone who'd like to correct it." "Chen." "Smart girl. You always were. That's why you survived. That's why you're a problem now." "Where are you? Close enough to see you shaking. PTSD's a bitch, isn't it? Makes you weak. Vulnerable. Not like the operator you used to be." Rachel's jaw clenched. Keep him talking. "You sold us out. Why? Money. Why else 40,000 to make a phone call? Easiest cash I ever made. My team died. Operators die. That's the job. You know that. They were your brothers. They were liabilities. Too good. Too heroic. Made the rest of us look bad." A pause. "Besides, the people I work for now pay better. Treat me better. No stupid honor code. Just money and results." "Who do you work for?" "Wouldn't you like to know? Maybe I'll tell you before you die. Make it mean something." Another pause. "You're bait, aren't you? Think you're so smart. Setting a trap. Got shooters in the rafters, rangers outside. Very professional." Rachel's heart hammered. He knew. "If you know it's a trap, why text me?" "Because my team's better than yours, and because I'm not actually there. I'm watching on satellite feed." "Nice try, though." She keyed her mic. "He's not coming. He's remote. Satellite surveillance." "Fuck." Williams's voice. Then who? The rear door exploded inward. Breaching charge. Flashbang. Smoke. 4 shapes moving fast through the cloud. Professional stack. Weapons up. Rachel dove behind the workbench, grabbed her rifle. Contact rear. Williams opened up from above. Controlled bursts. 1 hostile dropped. The others scattered. Returned fire. Rounds sparked off metal. Shattered glass. Rachel popped up. Acquired target. Fired twice. Center. Mass. The hostile went down hard. 2 down, Harrison called. I've got angle on gunfire, cut him off. Different weapon, heavier, from outside. Contact north side, Marcus's voice. Multiple hostiles. We're engaged. Rachel's mind went cold. Calm. This was what she trained for. Chaos, fire, death coming fast. She moved left, used the Humvee as cover, saw a hostile reloading behind a toolbox, shot him through the gap. Headshot. Down. 3 down, she called. 4th hostile retreating rear. Williams fired. Missed. Lost him in smoke. Rachel was already moving. Through the smoke. Low and fast. Her rifle up. Scanning. The 4th hostile was at the rear door. Turning. Weapon coming up. She fired first. Double tap. He dropped. 4 down. Motor pool secure. Negative. Marcus's voice was strained. We've got shit at least 6 hostiles out here, professional kit. They're pushing hard. Rachel ran for the side door. Hit it fast. Saw Marcus's position taking fire from 2 angles. Muzzle flashes in the dark. Tracers cutting through night. She dropped prone. Aimed. Found the first hostile. Squeezed. Down. Found the second. Fired. Down. 2 more down, Marcus shouted. Keep it coming! Harrison burst out behind her, took position on her right. Both of them firing now. Controlled aggression. Each shot deliberate. Each round finding targets. The hostile fire slackened. Broke. Figures retreating into darkness. They're running. Marcus's team was moving now. Pursuing. We've got weight vehicle at the east gate. Rachel was up and running before she thought about it. Full sprint toward the east gate. Her armor weighed a ton, but adrenaline made her light, made her fast. She reached the gate in time to see a black SUV accelerating. Saw a figure in the back seat. Just a glimpse through tinted windows. Chen. Watching her. Even from here she felt it. His eyes on her. She raised her rifle. Aimed at the driver. Started to squeeze. A hand caught her barrel. Pushed it down. Don't. Williams. Breathing hard. We've got their vehicle tags. Base security's already calling it in. Local PD will have roadblocks up in 5 minutes. He'll get away. Maybe. But you can't shoot through traffic. Too many civilians. Rachel wanted to argue. Wanted to take the shot anyway. But Williams was right. Chen was already gone, disappearing into the night. She lowered her rifle. Casualties. 2 Rangers hit, non-critical, already getting medic attention. Williams keyed his radio. All stations sound off. Harrison, green. Marcus, green. Jenkins took one in the armor plate. He's pissed, but fine. Rodriguez's team, all green. Rachel's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the concrete. Her hands were shaking so badly the rifle rattled against her armor. Thompson. Williams crouched beside her. You hit. No, I'm... She couldn't finish. The adrenaline was draining now, leaving her hollow. I'm okay. That was some of the best shooting I've ever seen. You dropped 4 hostiles in under 2 minutes, in smoke and darkness, while they were shooting back. Training. Her voice sounded far away. Ghost Squadron. We trained in worse. I believe it. He helped her stand. Come on. Patterson's going to want a debrief, and probably chew us all out for running an unauthorized op. Worth it. Hell yes. We just killed or captured most of Chen's support team. He's alone now. Exposed. We'll get him. They walked back to the motor pool. Emergency lights were everywhere now. Medics, MPs, officers shouting orders. The 4 dead hostiles were being photographed. Documented. Their weapons and gear spread out for analysis. Colonel Patterson stood in the middle of it all. His face was unreadable. When he saw Rachel, he walked over slowly. Master Sergeant Thompson, Sergeant Williams, would one of you like to explain why you ran a combat operation on my base without authorization? Rachel opened her mouth. Williams beat her to it. My call, sir. Thompson informed me of the threat. I made tactical decision to use available assets for defensive operation. Full responsibility is mine. Bullshit. Patterson looked at Rachel. This was your op, your plan, your execution. She met his eyes. Yes, sir. You used yourself as bait, put 5 other soldiers at risk, engaged hostile forces in a populated area. Yes, sir. And killed 4 enemy combatants, routed at least 6 more, protected this base and everyone on it from a coordinated assault. He paused. Without losing a single friendly. Rachel blinked. Sir, that was some of the finest tactical leadership I've seen in 30 years. Completely insane, totally against protocol, and absolutely the right call. He almost smiled. If you ever pull something like this again without telling me first, I'll have you court-martialed. Clear? Crystal, sir. Good. Now get to medical, get checked out, then get some sleep. Because tomorrow Jag's going to want a very detailed debrief. He turned to Williams. Same goes for you, and your Rangers. Good work, all of you. He walked away. Rachel just stood there, trying to process. They'd just fought a battle on U.S. soil, killed 4 people. And Patterson was compliments them. Thompson. Captain Kim appeared from nowhere. You look like hell. Feel worse. I bet. Come on, medical tent. Then we talk. The medical tent was organized chaos. Jenkins was getting his armor plate replaced and complaining loudly about missing the fun. The 2 injured Rangers were getting stitched up. Both were grinning. Combat high. They'd been in a real fight and survived. A medic checked Rachel over. Bruises, strain, mild dehydration. Nothing serious. He cleared her with orders to rest. Kim pulled her aside. Chen got away. I know. But we got his phone. One of the dead hostiles was carrying it, probably his handler. Kim's eyes were bright. We're cracking it now. Full contact list, communication logs, everything. How long? Hours. Maybe less. Tech guys are good. She paused. Thompson, you did it. You broke his network. He's alone now, hunted. We'll find him. What if you don't? We will. He can't hide forever. Not with his face on every law enforcement database in the country. Kim squeezed her shoulder. For now, you did enough. More than enough. You fought back. You survived. You protected your people. That's all anyone can ask. Rachel wanted to believe that. Wanted to feel victorious. But all she felt was tired. Empty. Like she'd spent everything and had nothing left. I need to sleep. Go. Your barracks are being guarded. 24-hour security until Chen's caught. You're safe. Safe. The word felt foreign. Rachel hadn't felt safe in 3 years. Wasn't sure she remembered how. She walked to her barracks in the dark. The base was quiet now. Crisis passed. Normal routine returning. In 12 hours, people would forget this happened. Move on. Back to their lives. But Rachel wouldn't forget. Couldn't. She'd just killed 4 people. Shot them dead without hesitation, without remorse. Because that's what operators did. What she was trained to do. What she'd tried so hard to stop being. Her room was exactly as she'd left it. Small, bare, no decorations, no photos, nothing personal. Like she'd been afraid to admit she lived here. Afraid to be real. She stripped off her armor, her weapons, stood in the shower until the water ran cold, scrubbed off gunpowder residue and blood that wasn't hers, and the smell of smoke and death. When she finally lay down, she expected nightmares, expected Yemen to come roaring back, expected to see her team's faces. Chen's smirk, the hostile she'd shot in the head through the gap. Instead, she slept, deep and dreamless, the sleep of someone who'd done what needed doing, who'd protected her people, who'd fought back instead of hiding, who'd remembered even for one night what it felt like to be a soldier. When she woke, her phone had 47 messages. One was from Kim. "We found Chen, Vienna, Austria, trying to board a flight to Moscow. Local police have him in custody. Extradition paperwork filed. He's coming home." Rachel read it 3 times, then put the phone down. Chen was caught. The man who'd sold Ghost Squadron. Who'd gotten her team killed. Who'd tried to finish the job. He'd failed. She'd survived. Again. Her hands were shaking, but this time it felt different. Not fear, not trauma. Something else. Maybe hope. She looked at her reflection in the small mirror, saw the scars on her neck, the shadows under her eyes, the ghost of who she used to be. But also something new, something that hadn't been there yesterday. Someone who'd fought back, who'd led soldiers, who'd protected people and remembered what it meant to be Ghost 01. Someone who was maybe possibly starting to believe she deserved to be alive. It wasn't much, but it was a start. And sometimes starts were enough. Rachel's second message was from a number she didn't recognize. International code. Austria. "This isn't over, Ghost. You think catching me changes anything? There are others. Deeper than you know. Sleep well." Her hands stopped shaking, went completely still. She forwarded the message to Kim. 3 seconds later, her phone rang. "He sent that from police custody." Kim's voice was tight. "How the hell?" "He's got protection. Someone inside." Rachel was already dressing. Combat pants, t-shirt, boots. "Chen's not the top. He's middle management. Someone bigger is running this. We're tracing the message now. Thompson, stay put. We've got—" "No." Rachel grabbed her jacket. "If Chen's got protection, he's getting pulled out. Diplomatic immunity, extradition delays, legal games. He'll disappear again." "That's not your problem." "It's exactly my problem. Ghost Squadron's my problem. Has been for 3 years. She checked her watch. 0600. "What's the fastest way to Vienna?" "You can't be serious." "Dead serious. He said there are others. Deeper threats. If Chen talks, we find them. If he disappears, they stay hidden. Keep selling out operators. Keep getting people killed." Rachel's voice went cold. "I'm not letting that happen." "Thompson, you're not authorized. Then authorize me, or don't. Either way, I'm going." She paused. "Ghost Squadron taught me something. When you've got the enemy cornered, you don't wait for paperwork. You finish the mission." Silence on the line. Then Kim swore quietly. "There's a military transport leaving in 2 hours. Medical supplies to Ramstein. I can get you on it. You on? But Thompson, this is completely off book. If you get caught..." "I won't. What's Chen's location?" "Holding cell at Vienna International Airport. Heavy security. Austrian Federal Police. You can't just walk in there." "Watch me." Rachel hung up. Grabbed her go-bag she'd kept one packed for 3 years without knowing why. Now she knew. Some habits died hard. Some not at all. She made it to the flight line in 20 minutes. The C-17 was loading cargo. Kim was there waiting. She looked exhausted. "This is insane," Kim said. "You already told me that." "I'm telling you again. You have no authority in Austria, no jurisdiction, no backup. If Chen's protection is real, you could start an international incident. Or I could finish what Ghost Squadron started." Rachel adjusted her bag. "Chen said there are others. That means this goes deeper than 2 traitors. Could be a whole network. Officers, contractors, people with access to classified operations." She met Kim's eyes. "How many more teams get sold out if we don't stop this?" Kim handed her a folder. "Everything we have on Chen's arrest. Location, security details, contact info for the legal attaché at the embassy. He doesn't know you're coming, but he's been briefed on Ghost Squadron. Use his name if you need leverage." "Thank you." "Don't thank me. If this goes sideways, I'll deny everything. You're a traumatized veteran who went rogue. Clear, crystal. One more thing." Kim pulled out a locked case, opened it. Inside was Rachel's sidearm. Cleaned. Loaded. "You didn't get this from me." Rachel took it, checked the chamber, holstered it under her jacket. "Never saw you. Good luck, Ghost." The flight to Ramstein took 8 hours. Rachel didn't sleep. Couldn't. Her mind was running scenarios. How to get to Chen. How to make him talk. What to do if his protection was real and extraction came. She'd been to Vienna once before. 6 years ago. Pre-deployment training with Ghost Squadron. They'd spent 2 weeks learning urban tactics in European cities. Vienna was elegant, old, full of tourists and history, and about 1 million places to hide or disappear. Chen picked the right city to run to, but he'd also picked the wrong person to run from. They landed at Ramstein at 1400 local. Rachel caught a military hop to Vienna Supply run 40 minutes. By 1600, she was on the ground at a small Austrian military airfield outside the city. No one questioned her. Military ID and a confident stride opened doors. She grabbed a taxi into the city, gave the driver the airport address in broken German she'd learned years ago. The driver eyed her in the mirror. "You are American military. Was. Not anymore. You look military still. The way you sit. The way you watch." He smiled slightly. "My father was Jagdkommando, Austrian Special Forces. I know the look." Rachel didn't respond. Watched the city roll past. Elegant buildings, cobblestone streets. Everything civilized and ancient and completely wrong for what she was about to do. The airport was modern. Glass and steel. International hub. She paid the driver. Walked inside like she belonged. Found a bathroom. Changed clothes. Civilian now. Dark pants, plain shirt. Jacket that hid her sidearm. Pulled her hair back. No makeup. Nothing memorable. Ghost Squadron had taught her how to disappear in crowds. How to be nobody. She found a coffee shop with sightlines to the main terminal. Ordered espresso she didn't drink. Opened her phone. Pulled up the embassy contact Kim had given her. Typed a message. "Need to speak with Chen. Ghost Squadron case. Time sensitive?" The reply came in 3 minutes. "Who is this? Ghost 01, Rachel Thompson. Captain Kim gave me your contact." "Thompson, you're supposed to be stateside. How are you, never mind. Don't tell me. Chen's in AFP custody, level 3 holding. You can't access him without authorization." "Get me authorization." "That's not how this works. There are protocols, diplomatic channels. You can't just—" "Chen texted me this morning, from custody. Said there are others. Deeper threats. Someone's protecting him. If he gets pulled out, we lose everything. She paused. I need 20 minutes with him. That's all. Even if I could arrange it, which I can't, what makes you think he'll talk? Because I'm the one who survived. I'm the ghost he tried to kill twice, and I'm going to make him understand that talking is his only way out alive. A longer pause. You're not going to kill him. Not if he cooperates. Thompson, that's not reassuring. It's honest. 20 minutes. Get me in or I find another way. And my way will be messier. Stand by. Rachel waited, finished her cold espresso, watched people flow through the terminal. Families, business people, tourists. All of them safe, protected. None of them knowing that soldiers died in shadows to keep them that way. Her phone buzzed. You're clear, but Thompson official channels only. No cowboy shit. The Austrians are cooperating, but they're watching. One wrong move and you're detained. Clear. Clear. Where? AFP headquarters. 20 minutes. Black sedan outside Terminal 3. Driver knows you're coming. Rachel stood. Walked to Terminal 3. The black sedan was waiting. Driver was 40-ish. Professional. Didn't introduce himself. Just opened the door. They drove in silence. Rachel watched the route, memorized turns, exits, in case things went bad and she needed to run. AFP headquarters was nondescript. Modern building, high security. The driver showed credentials. They were waved through. Parked underground. Wait here, the driver said. Someone will escort you. Rachel waited. 2 minutes later, a woman in AFP uniform approached. Captain's insignia. Hard eyes. Thompson. Yes. Captain Steiner, I'm told you need to speak with the prisoner. That's correct. You have 20 minutes. We'll be monitoring. Any threats, any violence, the interview ends immediately. Understood. Understood. They walked through corridors. Concrete, fluorescent lights, no windows, maximum security wing. 2 more checkpoints. Body scanner. Pat down. They found her sidearm immediately. You can't bring that in, Steiner said. I know. Rachel handed it over. Knew she wouldn't get it back. Didn't care. She didn't need a gun for this. Final door, interview room beyond. Small, table, 2 chairs. Camera in the corner. Chen sat on one side. Handcuffed, looking smug. He grinned when he saw her. Ghost 01. You actually came. I'm flattered. Rachel sat down across from him. Said nothing. Just stared. Chen's grin faded slightly. You're supposed to be broken. Traumatized. Hiding in a motor pool. What happened? You did. You made me remember who I am. And who's that? The woman who survived when you tried to kill me twice. The woman who just killed 4 of your team. The woman who's going to make sure you never see sunlight again. Chen leaned back. Big talk for someone with no authority here. I've got lawyers coming. Diplomatic protection. I'll be out in 48 hours. Who's protecting you? Wouldn't you like to know? Yes, that's why I'm here. Rachel's voice stayed level. Calm. You sent me a message. Said there are others. Deeper than I know. So I'm asking. Who are they? Why would I tell you? Because right now you're a loose end. You failed twice. Your team's dead. Your contact's phone is compromised. And I'm alive telling everyone you sold out Ghost Squadron. She leaned forward. How long before your protection decides you're more valuable dead than alive? Chen's smile flickered. They wouldn't. Wouldn't they? You think they care about you? You're middle management. Expendable. The moment you become a liability, you disappear. Accident in custody. Suicide. Heart attack. Easy. Rachel's eyes were cold. But if you talk now, if you give me names and evidence, I can protect you. Federal custody. Witness protection. Life instead of death. You're bluffing. Am I? Your team tried to kill me yesterday. 4 of them died. The others ran. You think that makes you look good to your handlers? You think they're impressed? You let one traumatized operator dismantle your entire operation. Chen's jaw clenched. I didn't let you do anything. No. You failed. And failures don't get protection. They get eliminated. She paused. Talk now. Names, locations, how deep this goes. Give me something useful and I'll make sure you live long enough to stand trial. And if I don't, then I walk away. Let your protection handle you. Maybe they get you out, maybe they don't. Either way, you're alone. Rachel stood. Your choice. Die a traitor or live a witness. 10 seconds. Wait. She stopped. Turned. Chen was sweating now. The smugness was gone. Reality was setting in. How do I know you'll keep your word? You don't. But I've never broken a promise to anyone. Not in 10 years of service. Not to my team. Not to anyone. Her voice softened slightly. You betrayed 6 people who trusted you. I won't do the same. Give me something real and I'll fight for you. That's the best offer you'll get. Chen stared at his cuffed hands. There's a network. Started 5 years ago. Officers, contractors, some agency people. They sell classified information, mission details, personnel movements, whatever pays. Who runs it? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's compartmented. You only know your contact, your handler. Never the top. Who's your handler? Was, past tense. Your little shootout got him killed. He was one of the 4 dead hostiles. Rachel's mind clicked. The one with your phone. Yeah, Collins, former Delta. Good operator gone bad. He recruited me. Said it was easy money. Low risk. Just pass along some information. Nobody gets hurt. 6 people died. I didn't know that would happen. Collins said it was just intel gathering, routine stuff. I didn't know they'd use it to set up an ambush. By the time I figured it out, I was in too deep. They had evidence, recordings. They owned me. What about Brooks? Same story. Collins recruited him separately. We didn't even know about each other until after Yemen. Chen looked up. There are more. At least a dozen that I know of. Probably more I don't. All across military, intelligence, contractors. Names. I only know 3. Brooks and 2 others. Captain Reeves at Fort Bragg. Civilian contractor named Morrison. Works for a defense company. Does logistics. Rachel pulled out her phone. Spell them. Chen spelled. She typed. Sent it to Kim with one word, verify. What else? Rachel asked. That's all I know. I swear. I was small time, just passing intel. I didn't run operations or recruit people or anything like that. Collins handled everything. Now he's dead, and I'm... Chen's voice cracked. I'm fucked. Aren't I? Probably. But you just gave me something to work with. That buys you consideration. Not freedom. Not forgiveness. But a chance. Rachel moved to the door. Knocked. Captain Steiner. The door opened. Steiner looked between them. We heard everything. Recordings already being sent to your embassy. Good. Keep him isolated. No calls, no visitors. Someone's going to try to get to him. Already arranged. Maximum security. 24-hour watch. Steiner handed Rachel a card. Your weapon's at the front desk. You're cleared to leave. But Thompson, don't come back. Once is stretching cooperation. Twice would be a problem. Understood. Thank you. Rachel collected her sidearm, walked out into fading sunlight. Vienna was beautiful at dusk. golden light on old buildings. She didn't see any of it. Her phone rang. Kim. I got your message, already running those names through databases. Kim's voice was tight. Thompson, if this network is real, if it's as big as Chen says, this is going to explode. Courts-martial, federal investigations, media circus. Good. Burn it all down. Every traitor, every compromised operator. Clean house completely. It could take years. Then take years, but get it done. Rachel found a bench, sat down heavily. Chen said he didn't know about the ambush, didn't know they'd use the intel to kill Ghost Squadron. You believe him? Does it matter? I don't know. Maybe. Rachel rubbed her face. He looked scared. Genuinely scared. Like he'd made a mistake and couldn't take it back. Like he was sorry. Sorry doesn't bring your team back. No, it doesn't. Rachel watched people walk past. Normal people living normal lives. But maybe it means something. Maybe intent matters. He sold us out for money but didn't mean for us to die. Does that make him less guilty? That's for a court to decide. Not you. I know. I wanted him to be a monster. Someone I could hate completely. But he's just a weak man who made terrible choices. That's somehow worse. Why? Because monsters are easy to fight. Weak men are just sad. Rachel stood. I'm catching the next flight back. Should be stateside in 20 hours. There's a situation here. Rachel's stomach dropped. What kind of situation? The video of you shooting yesterday, the one where you dropped 4 hostiles and saved the Rangers, it's gone viral. Not military viral, civilian viral. 40 million views. News outlets are calling. CNN, Fox. All of them want interviews. Want to know who you are, what Ghost Squadron was, why you were hiding. Tell them no. I did. Doesn't matter. They're doing stories anyway. Speculation, anonymous sources. Some of it's accurate. Most isn't. But the narrative's building. You're becoming famous whether you want it or not. Rachel closed her eyes. I can't do famous. I can barely do existing. I know. But Thompson, there might be a way to use this. Control the narrative. Tell your story on your terms. Show people what operators sacrifice, what betrayal costs. Make Ghost Squadron mean something beyond classified files. They already mean something. To me. Then make them mean something to everyone else too. You've got a platform now, a voice. Use it to honor them, to push for change, to make sure this network gets exposed and destroyed completely. Kim paused. Or don't. Walk away. Disappear again. Either way, the story's out there. You just get to choose if you're part of it. Rachel thought about her team, about carrying their bodies through the desert, about 3 years of silence and guilt and hiding, about 25 perfect shots that reminded her who she used to be, about protecting Rangers yesterday because that's what Ghost Squadron did. Maybe Kim was right. Maybe silence wasn't honoring them. Maybe silence was just more hiding. I'll think about it, Rachel said. Right now, I just want to come home. Home to the motor pool. Home to... She stopped. Realized she didn't know what home meant anymore. The motor pool wasn't home. It was a hiding place. Her barracks wasn't home. It was a cell she'd built herself. Ghost Squadron had been home. Her team, her purpose, her family. And they were gone. I don't know what home is anymore, she admitted quietly. Then maybe it's time to figure that out. Come back. Rest. Heal. Then decide what comes next. Whether that's staying in service or getting out. Doing interviews or staying quiet. Hunting the rest of this network or letting others handle it. Kim's voice softened. You've done enough, Thompson. More than enough. Nobody expects you to keep carrying this alone. Feels like I have to. That's the PTSD talking. That's survivor guilt. That's 3 years of punishing yourself for something that wasn't your fault. Kim paused. You know what your team would want. They'd want you to live. Actually live. Not just exist. Not just survive. But find something worth living for besides guilt and duty. Rachel's eyes burned. I don't know how. So learn. You learn to shoot with a broken rifle. You learn to lead a fire team again. You learn to fight back. Learning to live can't be harder than that. Feels harder. I know. But you're not alone anymore. You've got rangers who respect you, officers who value you, and a JAG captain who's not giving up on you. Kim's voice went firm. Get on that plane. Come home. We'll figure out the rest together. Rachel ended the call. Sat in the darkening Vienna evening. Around her, the city came alive with lights and music and laughter. People living, loving, being human. She'd forgotten what that felt like. Maybe it was time to remember. She walked to the taxi stand, got a ride back to the airfield. The cargo plane was loading for the return flight. She showed her ID, climbed aboard, found a spot among the cargo nets, sat down, closed her eyes. This time she slept. And this time when the dreams came, they weren't all nightmares. Some were memories of her team laughing, joking, being alive and whole and together. Some were yesterday's firefight. Clean shots, good tactics, rangers she'd protected. Some were possibilities, futures she couldn't quite see, but could almost feel. Lives she might live if she learned how. When she woke, they were over the Atlantic, coming home. Her phone had 63 new messages. Most were press requests, interview offers, book deals, movie rights, all asking the same thing. Who is Ghost 01? Tell us your story. Rachel deleted them all except one. It was from Marcus Rodriguez. Thompson, Rangers are doing a thing tonight. Informal. Beers and bullshit. You should come. We owe you. Plus Harrison wants to arm wrestle you. It's going to be hilarious. She stared at the message. An invitation. To be normal. To be part of something. To stop hiding and start living. Her hands shook as she typed a response. What time? The reply came instantly. 2000. Building 4. Bring stories. Leave the hero shit at the door. We just want Thompson, not Ghost 1. Rachel smiled. Actually smiled. Small, but real. I'll be there. She looked out the window, watched the sun rise over the ocean. New day. New start. Same broken woman with same shaking hands and same scars. But maybe that was okay. Maybe broken things could still work, could still be part of something, could still matter. The plane descended toward Ramstein, connection to stateside flight waiting. Home in 12 hours. Home. The word still felt strange, but less impossible than before. Rachel closed her eyes again. This time not to sleep, just to breathe, to exist, to let herself feel alive for 5 seconds without guilt choking it down. 5 seconds became 10, became 30, became 2 minutes of just being Rachel Thompson, not Ghost 01, not Master Sergeant, not broken veteran or traumatized survivor or any other label, just Rachel, breathing, living, still standing. And for the first time in 3 years, that felt like enough. The plane touched down at Fort Benning just after 1900. Rachel had exactly 1 hour to get to Building 4. She almost didn't go. Stood outside her barracks for 10 minutes trying to talk herself out of it. These were Rangers. Warriors. Heroes. They didn't need a broken maintenance clerk drinking their beer and taking up space. But Marcus had said to bring stories. And Rachel had stories. 3 years' worth she'd never told anyone. Maybe it was time. Building 4 was an old recreation hall. Rachel heard the laughter before she opened the door. Inside, 20 rangers sat around tables. Beer, pizza, music playing low, normal soldiers doing normal things. They went quiet when she entered. Marcus stood. "Thompson, you made it." "Almost didn't. Glad you did. Grab a beer. But sit down. Stop looking like you're about to run." Rachel grabbed a beer she wouldn't drink. Sat in the corner. Old habits. Always keep your back to the wall. Always know the exits. Harrison slid into the chair across from her. "You look like hell." "Just got back from Vienna." "Yeah, we heard. Flew there unauthorized. Interrogated Chen. Got names of other traitors. Patterson's pretending to be mad, but he's actually impressed." Harrison grinned. "You don't do anything small, do you?" "Wasn't trying to impress anyone. And that's exactly why you did." He raised his beer. "To Ghost Squadron. And to survivors who keep fighting." The table went quiet. Everyone raised their drinks. "To Ghost Squadron." Rachel's eyes burned. She managed to nod. Take a sip. The beer tasted like nothing. "So," Marcus said, "we've got a question. Just one, okay, several, but the big one, why maintenance your Ghost Squadron? Tier 1 operator. You could have done anything. Why hide in a motor pool fixing trucks?" Rachel stared at her beer. "Because trucks don't care if you're broken. They just need fixing. And I was good at fixing things. Better at that than—" She stopped. "Then what?" Harrison asked gently. "Then being alive. Then existing as a person. Then figuring out what life meant when everyone I cared about was dead." The words came out flat. "Engines made sense. People didn't. So I fixed engines." Marcus leaned forward. "For 3 years, without talking to anyone, without letting anyone help. I didn't deserve help. I was team leader. My team died. That was on me." Rachel's hands tightened on the bottle. "At least that's what I thought. Turns out I was wrong. Turns out Chen and Brooks sold us out. Turns out it wasn't my fault." "But you still carried it," Harrison said. "For 3 years. Alone." "Someone had to. They were my team, my responsibility, my—" Her voice cracked. "My family." The room was silent except for the low music. These rangers understood. They knew what teams meant, what losing them cost. "Tell us about them," Marcus said quietly. "Your team, if you want." Rachel looked around the table, saw genuine interest. Not pity, not judgment, just soldiers wanting to know about other soldiers. She took a breath. Ghost 06 was team leader officially, but she let me call tactical, said I had better instincts. She was from Texas, tough as hell. Could shoot a cigarette out of your mouth at 300 meters. Scared everyone. Had a laugh like thunder. A small smile touched Rachel's face. Martinez was our medic. Brooklyn accent. Never stopped talking. Saved my life twice in Syria. Once in Iraq. Carried candy in his vest. Said sugar was tactical advantage. We called him Doc Sweet. Davis was Damo, quiet guy. Genius with explosives. Could blow a lock without waking the person on the other side of the door. Loved chess. Beat everyone. Except... She paused. Except Johnson, our communications expert. She was from Seattle. 23 years old. Youngest on the team. Smartest person I ever met. Could hack anything. Spoke 6 languages. Had her whole life ahead of her. Rachel's hands were shaking now, but she kept talking. Wilson was heavy weapons. Chicago. Played college football. Could carry 200 pounds of gear and still move faster than anyone. Protected us. Always put himself between the team and danger. That's how he died. Took an RPG meant for the rest of us. She stopped. Swallowed hard. And Chen. We thought he was one of us. He wasn't Ghost Squadron, but he worked with us sometimes. Logistics, intel. We trusted him. That was our mistake. Not your mistake, Harrison said firmly. His betrayal, his choice, his guilt. I know that now. Doesn't make it hurt less. Rachel set down her beer. They died because someone valued money over honor, over lives, over everything that matters. And I survived because Wilson threw himself on an RPG, because Doc Sweet got me to the extraction point before he bled out, because Ghost 06 held the line until the helo arrived. I survived because they made sure I did. That's not survivor's guilt, Marcus said. That's survivor's responsibility. They died making sure you lived. So live. Actually live. Make their sacrifice mean something. I don't know how. You're doing it right now, sitting here, talking to us, being human. Marcus smiled slightly. That's living. Not easy. Not pretty. But real. Rachel wanted to argue, wanted to say it wasn't enough. But looking around the table at these soldiers, some barely 20 years old, some scarred and tired and carrying their own ghosts, she saw something she'd forgotten. Community. Brothers. Sisters. People who understood without needing explanation. Maybe Marcus was right. Maybe this was living. Messy and incomplete and painful. But alive. Thompson, Jenkins spoke up from the end of the table, the ranger who'd taken a round in his armor plate. Can I ask something? Sure. Yesterday, when you were shooting, your hands were shaking so bad I thought you'd drop the rifle. But every shot was perfect. How? Rachel looked at her hands, still trembling slightly. Always trembling. The shaking's not weakness. It's damage. Nerve damage from the injuries. Plus PTSD. Anxiety. All of it together. She paused. But Ghost Squadron taught me something. Broken things can still work if you understand how they're broken. My hands shake between shots. But during that split second when I'm on target, they steady. Just enough. My body remembers what my mind tries to forget. That's the most operator thing I've ever heard, Jenkins said, using your damage as a feature. Not sure it's a feature, but it's what I've got. Rachel almost smiled. Besides, that rifle was so warped that steady hands would have missed. Shaking actually helped with the micro-adjustments. The table laughed. Real laughter. The kind that came from soldiers who understood gallows humor, who knew that sometimes you laughed or you broke. So what's next? Harrison asked. For you staying and getting out, doing those interviews everyone wants. I don't know. 24 hours ago I was hiding in a motor pool. Now I'm... Rachel gestured vaguely. Whatever this is. Famous viral, I don't even know what to call it. How about alive? Marcus suggested. Call it alive and figure out the rest later. Marcus is right, a new voice said. Captain Kim stood in the doorway. She looked exhausted, but determined. Sorry to interrupt, but Thompson, we need to talk, now. The mood shifted. Kim's expression said this wasn't social. Rachel stood. What happened? Not here, outside. They walked into the cooling night. Kim waited until they were alone. We verified the names Chen gave you. Captain Reeves, Morrison, both confirmed. Arrested 2 hours ago. That's good news. It gets better. Reeves talked, immediately, gave up 6 more names. Morrison gave up 4. We're rolling up the entire network. 16 arrests so far. More coming. Rachel felt something loosen in her chest. So it's over. Not quite. There's a problem. Kim pulled out her tablet, showed Rachel a photo. Man in his 50s, civilian clothes, hard eyes. Recognize him. Rachel's blood went cold. That's Collins, the handler, the one I killed in the motor pool firefight. Right. Well, his phone, the one we recovered, it's giving us intel. Lots of it. Communications, contacts, financial records. And Thompson, there's something you need to see. Kim pulled up a message thread. These are texts between Collins and an unknown number from 2 days ago, right after your shooting video went viral. Rachel read the messages. Her hands started shaking harder. Unknown. Ghost 01 is alive. This is a problem. Collins. I'll handle it. Chen's already on it. Unknown. Chen failed, twice. We need permanent solution. Collins. I'm moving personally. Tonight. She won't survive. Unknown. Make it clean. No connection to us. Collins. Understood. But if I fail, activate Protocol 7. Unknown. That's extreme. Collins. She's Ghost Squadron. Extreme is necessary. Rachel looked up. What's Protocol 7? We don't know. The phone cuts off there. Collins died before he could activate anything. But Thompson, that unknown number. We traced it. Partial trace. It's stateside. It's military. And it's senior level. How senior? Colonel. Maybe higher. Someone with access to everything. Someone who's been running this network from the top. Kim's voice was grim. Someone who knows you're a threat and wanted you dead. Someone who might still want you dead. Rachel's mind raced. Chen said nobody knows the top. The network's compartmented. It is. But the top knows everyone. Sees everything. Controls everything. And Collins was taking direct orders from whoever that unknown number is. Kim met her eyes. Thompson, you're still in danger. Real danger. From someone with resources and authority and motivation to silence you permanently. So what do? We keep digging, keep tracing, keep arresting people until someone talks, until we find out who's running this. Kim paused. But in the meantime, you stay protected. 24-hour security. No going anywhere alone. No unauthorized travel. I'm not hiding again. I'm not asking you to hide. I'm asking you to be smart. This person, whoever they are, they've already tried twice. They'll try again. Maybe with more resources. More planning. More. Rachel's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She showed Kim. Don't answer it, Kim said. Rachel answered it. Put it on speaker. Ghost 01. The voice was male, calm, educated. I've been wanting to talk to you. Who is this? Someone who made a mistake. Several mistakes, actually. First was thinking Ghost Squadron died in Yemen. Second was thinking Chen could finish the job. Third was underestimating how dangerous one traumatized operator could be. A pause. You've caused significant problems, arrested 16 of my people, exposed a network that took years to build, cost me millions in revenue and resources. Good. Hope it hurts. Oh, it does. But pain teaches lessons, and you've taught me something valuable. You can't be bought, can't be scared, can't be reasoned with. That makes you unique, dangerous, and utterly fascinating. Rachel's hands clenched. Get to the point. The point is simple. Stop. Stop investigating. Stop talking. Stop existing as a problem. Disappear. Actually disappear this time. Change your name. Leave the country. Vanish completely. Do that, and you live. Keep pushing, and you die. Along with everyone you care about. I don't care about anyone. You made sure of that when you killed my team. I didn't kill them. Chen and Brooks killed them. I simply provided the opportunity. The voice stayed calm. Reasonable. Like discussing weather. But if you insist on being difficult, I have no problem expanding the body count. Captain Kim, for instance. Or those Rangers you're so fond of. Marcus Rodriguez, Harrison, Jenkins. Even that Range Officer Williams. All easily accessible, all vulnerable, all dead if you don't back off. Kim's face went white. Rachel's went cold. You threatened them, Rachel said quietly. And I will find you. I will hunt you through every hole you hide in, and I will put a bullet in your head. That's not a threat. That's a promise. Brave words, but you don't even know who I am. How will you find someone you can't identify? Same way I found Chen. Same way I'll find every person in your network. I'll follow the blood until it leads to you. And when it does, when I'm standing over you, you'll understand what Ghost Squadron really meant. We don't leave missions unfinished. Silence on the line. Then, you have 48 hours. Disappear or suffer consequences. The line went dead. Kim was already typing. We're tracing that call. We're increasing security. No. Rachel's voice cut through. We're ending this. Now. How? By doing exactly what he doesn't expect. Not hiding, not running, not backing down. Rachel's eyes were hard now. Focused. We go public. All of it. The network. The arrests. Chen's confession. Everything. We put it on every news channel, every social media platform. We make it so visible that killing me becomes impossible without exposing himself. That's risky. Everything's risky. But right now I'm a secret threat. Someone he can eliminate quietly. We make me public, make my story known, make my survival matter to millions of people, then killing me becomes a liability. The attention would be massive. Investigations would intensify. He'd be exposed. Kim thought fast. It could work, if we control the narrative, if we do it right. Then let's do it right. Set up interviews, press conferences, whatever it takes. I'll tell everything. Ghost Squadron, Yemen, the betrayal, the network, all of it. Rachel paused. And I'll dare him to come for me publicly, because I'm done hiding. I'm done being afraid. I'm done letting traitors control my life. Thompson, this is going to change everything. Your privacy, your safety, your entire life. My life changed the moment my team died. This is just me finally accepting it. Rachel looked back at Building 4, at the Rangers inside, at the community she'd found. I have people worth protecting now, worth fighting for. He threatened them. That was his mistake. Kim nodded slowly. Okay, I'll set it up. CNN's been calling constantly. We'll give them exclusive first interview, tomorrow morning. Live broadcast. You tell your story. We release evidence simultaneously. Flood the zone. Do it. They walked back inside. The Rangers were still talking, laughing, living. They looked up when Rachel entered. Everything okay? Marcus asked. Not even close, but it will be. Rachel sat back down, picked up her beer. Someone just threatened all of you, tried to use you as leverage to make me disappear. The laughter died. Every Ranger went still. What did you tell them? Harrison asked quietly. That threatening you was the worst mistake they could make, because now I'm motivated. Rachel met their eyes. I'm doing a CNN interview tomorrow, going public with everything. It's going to get ugly. Media attention, investigations, probably more threats. Anyone who wants distance from me, I understand. No judgment." Marcus laughed. "Are you kidding? We're Rangers. We don't back down from threats. We run toward them." "Marcus is right," Jenkins said. "You protected us. Time to return the favor." Harrison raised his beer. "To Ghost 01, and to anyone stupid enough to threaten her. To Ghost 01. The table roared it, glasses raised. Solidarity absolute. Rachel felt something break open in her chest. Not breaking apart. Breaking through. 3 years of isolation cracking under the weight of community. Of belonging. Of soldiers who had her back not because they had to, but because they wanted to. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank us by staying alive," Marcus said, "and by letting us help. We're in this now. All of us." The night continued. More stories. More laughter. Rachel even told some Ghost Squadron stories. The funny ones. The human ones. The moments between missions when they were just people trying to survive and find meaning, and occasionally eat pizza that didn't taste like cardboard. By midnight, Rachel felt more human than she had in 3 years. By 0200, she was exhausted, but peaceful. She walked back to her barracks with an escort 2 Rangers Kim had assigned. They were professional, alert, taking the threat seriously. Rachel's phone buzzed, text from an unknown number, different from before. Ghost 01. This is Ghost 06's sister. I saw your video. I wanted to say thank you for bringing her home, for honoring her, for surviving. She would be proud. We all are. Rachel stared at the message, tears streaming down her face. She typed back with shaking hands. She saved me. More times than I can count. I'm sorry I couldn't save her. The reply came fast. She didn't need saving. She needed someone worth dying for. You were that person. Don't waste the life she gave you. Rachel sat on her bunk, read the message again. Again. Let the words sink into wounds that had festered for 3 years. Don't waste the life she gave you. She'd been wasting it. Hiding. Punishing herself. Existing without living. That wasn't honoring Ghost 06. That was insulting her sacrifice. Time to change that. Rachel pulled out her phone. Opened the photos she'd been afraid to look at. Ghost Squadron. All 6 of them. Taken 3 weeks before Yemen, they were smiling. Alive. Together. She studied their faces. Memorized them again. Let herself remember not just how they died, but how they lived. Their laughter. Their courage. Their humanity. I'm going to finish this, she whispered to the photo. The network. The traitors. All of it. And then I'm going to live. Actually live. The way you wanted. The way you died to give me the chance to do. I promise. The faces in the photo smiled back. Silent. Eternal. Gone, but never forgotten. Rachel set the photo on her bedside table. First personal item in 3 years. First admission that this room was hers. That she existed. That she mattered. She lay down. Closed her eyes. This time the dreams were gentle. Ghost Squadron around a table. Laughing. Telling her it was okay. That she'd done enough. That she could rest now. When she woke at 0600, her hands were steady. Not perfect, not healed, but steady enough. Kim picked her up at 0700. They drove to the CNN remote studio set up on base. Professional crew. Lights. Cameras. A host who looked nervous to be interviewing a classified operator. "You ready?" Kim asked. "No, but I'm doing it anyway." Rachel checked her appearance. Simple uniform. No makeup. No hiding. Just Rachel Thompson. Ghost 01. Survivor. Soldier. Human. The interview lasted 45 minutes. Rachel told everything. Ghost Squadron's formation. Their missions. Yemen. The betrayal. 3 years hiding. The viral video. The firefight. Vienna. Chen's confession. The network arrests. And the ongoing threat from someone still hidden. She spoke clearly. Honestly. Let her hands shake on camera. Let the world see her scars and hear her voice crack, and watch her fight through tears when talking about her team. She didn't hide anymore. The host asked the final question. "What do you want people to know about Ghost Squadron?" Rachel looked directly at the camera. That they were heroes. Real ones. Not movie heroes. Real people who chose service over safety, who died protecting others, who believed in something bigger than themselves. Her voice was steady now. Strong. And that their sacrifice won't be wasted. "I'm going to hunt down every traitor in this network. Every person who values money over honor. Every coward who hides behind rank while soldiers die. I'm coming for all of them. And to the person at the top, the one who threatened my friends yesterday, you made a mistake. You showed me you're afraid. And you should be. Because Ghost Squadron doesn't quit. We don't hide. And we don't forgive traitors." She stood. Unpinned her microphone. Walked off camera. Kim was waiting. That was perfect. 40 million people watching live. Every news outlet is picking it up. You're trending worldwide. And Thompson? She smiled. That final message. That was terrifying. Whoever's running this network just realized they created their own worst nightmare. Good, let them be afraid. But let them understand what it feels like to be hunted. Rachel's hands were shaking again, but her voice was steel. Ghost Squadron's been dead for 3 years. Time to resurrect them, even if it's just me. Her phone exploded with messages. Support, threats, interview requests, marriage proposals, death threats, everything. One message stood out. From Patterson. Master Sergeant Thompson, report to my office. 1300. Come ready to discuss your future. Because after that interview, you have options. Use them wisely. Rachel showed Kim. He's going to offer you reinstatement, Kim said. Full rank, cleared for duty. Probably a position training operators or leading investigations into the network. What if I don't want that? Then tell him. But Thompson, think carefully. You just told 40 million people you're hunting traitors. You'll need resources, authority, support. The military can provide that. Or you can go civilian. Start a security company, write a book, do speaking tours, whatever you want. The point is, you have choices now. Real ones. Make the choice that lets you live, not just survive. Rachel thought about her team. About 3 years in hiding. About 25 perfect shots with a broken rifle. About rangers who'd become friends. About finally feeling human again. I want to finish what we started, she said. Ghost Squadron's mission, hunt the network, protect operators, make sure no one else gets sold out and killed for money. But I don't know if I can do that in uniform. Don't know if I can follow orders when I spent 3 years learning not to trust the chain of command. Then do it your way. Take what resources the military offers. But stay independent, consultant, contractor, liaison. Whatever title lets you work without compromising who you are. Kim smiled. You're Ghost 01. You don't fit in boxes. Stop trying to. At 1300, Rachel walked into Patterson's office. He was waiting with 2 others, a general she didn't recognize, and Harrison. Master Sergeant Thompson, Patterson said. General Marks, He flew in from the Pentagon after watching your interview. He has a proposal." General Marks stood. Old-school soldier, chest full of ribbons, hard eyes that had seen everything. "Thompson, that was one hell of an interview. You just declared war on a criminal network with reach into every branch of military and intelligence. That takes either courage or insanity." "Maybe both, sir." "Definitely both." He smiled slightly. "Here's my proposal. We're forming a task force, joint military and civilian. Mission is to hunt down every member of this network. Arrest them, prosecute them, clean house completely. We need someone to lead it, someone operators trust, someone who understands betrayal and knows how these networks function." He paused. "We want you." Rachel's hands started shaking. "Sir, I'm not sure I'm qualified." "You hunted Chen across 2 continents, extracted intelligence from him, identified 16 traitors, killed 4 hostile operators in combat while protecting Rangers. You're the most qualified person alive." Marks leaned forward. "But I'm not ordering you. I'm asking. Take the job or don't. Your choice. But if you take it, you'll have full authority. Military resources, civilian oversight, and Harrison here is your deputy." Rachel looked at Harrison. "You volunteered for this." "Hell yes. You saved our asses. Time to return the favor. Plus, hunting traitors sounds more interesting than running a range." He grinned. "Besides, someone needs to make sure you don't go full vigilante." "I'm not sure I can promise that." "Good. Vigilante justice is more efficient anyway." Harrison's grin widened. "So what do you say? Join the task force, hunt some traitors, make Ghost Squadron proud." Rachel looked at these 3 men. Officers offering her purpose, mission, a reason to keep fighting that wasn't just guilt and duty. She thought about her team, about what they'd want. Not revenge, not isolation, but justice. Protection. Making sure their deaths meant something. "I'll do it," she said. "On one condition. The task force includes civilians who've been affected by betrayal. Family members of operators who died. People who understand what's at stake. This isn't just military justice, it's personal." Marks nodded. "Agreed. Build your team. However you want. Whatever you need. You've got full support." Rachel stood. Saluted. "Then let's get to work, sir." The meeting lasted 2 hours. Details, resources, legal authority, task force composition. By 1500, Rachel had an office, a team, and a mission that finally felt right. She spent the rest of the day making calls, recruiting people, building something that felt like Ghost Squadron but bigger, more inclusive. A team dedicated not to killing, but to protecting, to justice, to making sure betrayal had consequences. By 2000, she had 12 people committed. Operators, analysts, lawyers, family members, all united by one goal: clean house. Completely. Rachel stood in her new office, looked at the photos on the wall. Ghost Squadron. All 6 faces. Watching her, supporting her, telling her silently that this was right. This was worthy. This was what they'd died for. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. The same number from yesterday. "You should have disappeared." Rachel typed back without hesitation. "Too late. I'm not hiding anymore. And I'm coming for you. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. And when I find you, you'll understand what Ghost Squadron really was. We were ghosts. Silent. Deadly. Inevitable. You can't hide from ghosts. We haunt until justice is done." She hit send. Waited. No response came. But Rachel knew the message was received. Understood. Feared. Good. Let them fear. Let them run. Let them understand that betrayal had a price, and Ghost 01 was collecting. She looked at her hands, still shaking, always shaking, but holding a phone that declared war, holding a mission that mattered, holding on to life instead of just surviving. Broken things could still work, could still be dangerous, could still change the world. Rachel Thompson. Ghost 01 was living proof, and she was just getting started.